So you're rich. No, richer. You're famous. You're in Japan, and you want a nice vacation home. What kind of neighborhood will you find yourself in? What kind of stuff do you get up to? And what will your dream vacation home look like? Hello world. Welcome to Karuizawa, Japan's outdoor getaway for the rich and famous. It's got hot springs, a ski hill, tennis, shopping, and to me, it all looks like a giant campground. Today, I'll be joined by my real estate agent friend Alex, who will open up the doors into a few of the homes, from a work retreat to a modern home on a cliff to a very American-looking house. To start it all off, let's learn about Karuizawa and how it came to be the playground for Japan's elites. Why did this become such a popular place for the rich to have their secondary homes?
Right, so Karuizawa is more or less the first kind of summer retreat resort area in all of Japan. It's been around for over 100 years. It started in like the end of the 1800s by a Canadian guy.
Yeah, so the Canadian fellow was a missionary named Alexander Croft Shaw, who first visited Karuizawa in the mid-1880s. Shaw found the environment a natural sanatorium, a hospital without a roof. As such, he made it his summer vacation home and started the first church services when he gave sermons out of his cottage. And when his congregation outgrew the cottage, a chapel was built. If you visit today, you can see his bust in front of the Shaw Memorial Chapel. Shaw attracted other foreigners and missionaries, which resulted in even more churches being established. Karuizawa became the place to escape Tokyo's summer heat, especially since in August, it's about 6 degrees Celsius cooler than the capital. And it wasn't only for foreigners. Japanese elites, from academics and business leaders to even the imperial family, made it their summer vacation spot. The former emperor even courted his future wife on one of the many tennis courts. At its peak in 1975, there were over 1,000 tennis courts, which would mean one court per 14 residents. Nowadays, there are only 24 tennis courts. Although, if you count villa owners, I'm sure it'd still be over 100. It's known for many other sports, from horseback riding and cycling, to golf and hiking, to skiing and curling. It even hosted Olympic Summer Game events in 1964, as well as winter events in 1998. Nowadays, despite having a population of around 20,000 residents, it's visited by more than 8 million tourists a year. This is partly thanks to the expressway that opened up in 1993 and the Shinkansen, which came to town in 1997. By bullet train, it's now accessible from Tokyo in a little over an hour. So one thing I've been wondering, for these homes, who buys them and who lives in them?
Right, so while there are a lot of people who actually specifically live in Karuizawa and then maybe commute to Tokyo, most people, I would say, are buying it as their vacation home. So if you think about it, they already have their place, say, in Tokyo or a big city nearby, and they have another one up here, so they're very wealthy. Right, that's what it generally is. Like if you were to buy something like this over here, just for the lands, we're talking probably in the multi-millions, right? And then plus the house on top of that, that's gonna be $1 million or more, definitely. So, rich people.
Rich people. Right, so it's mainly the wealthy that are purchasing second homes, and they are mostly second homes. Out of the 21,000 homes in the area, 6,000 are considered local resident homes, while 15,000 are vacation homes. But how is this determined? It's simple. A home is considered occupied by a local resident if the owner stays at least one night a month. So going by that criteria, I think it's safe to say that more than 75% of homes in Karuizawa are used as secondary vacation homes. On that note, let's go and check out the inside of one of these vacation homes.
So I love this. I'm from Malibu. This reminds me of like a house in Malibu overlooking the PCH, right? I mean, everything about this place you'll see is modern and beautiful. A Franklin stove style kind of fireplace over here. So it's a very large living room, dining room area. That includes this kind of open kitchen layout over here that you have. This is the actual living room over here. This is your office. Look at that. Extra light in here. This is why it seems so bright in here, is because it's not just coming from here, it's coming from above as well. So this is built by a Japanese family for Japanese people, but they kind of went a little bit more Western in their stylings and how they wanted to actually lay it all out. And this is a rare thing to have in Japan, where the toilet and the bathroom and like the sink are technically in the same room.
Together, yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, you can actually separate them out if you want to.
Yes, you can, and that's a very common thing to do in Japan. Even married couples will generally sleep in separate beds. Just like that. You want to check out the balcony? This place actually has about 500 square meters of land, but I mean, you can look down and see it's all at a very steep angle. So you're not really going to be using the land so much. You don't really get a yard or anything like that. But at the same time, you get this just crazy view. It feels like you're in the middle of the forest.
I think we are in the middle of a forest.
I think you're right about that. Yes, we are in the middle of the forest. And so you can actually see from this how they did the black on the outside. So this is charred wood. The master bedroom, which is about the same size as the other one, to be honest, but just like that, with your view of the outside. Yeah, I mean, everything about this it screams non-Japanese in terms of the build quality, because like Japanese places will generally have fake wood floors. These are hardwood floors. You know, same thing, they'll never really use like actual wood for the bathroom or anything like that, but this does. And with this one, they built it to the way that they wanted it, right? And what most people do, in fact, will be to buy the lands and then just build exactly how they want it to be, right? And that's the way that you can get features that you normally wouldn't in Japan. Like I said, the hardwood floors and multiple bathrooms. In Japan, normally they only have one bathroom. And also things like, you know, that beautiful little fireplace over there.
Okay, say a person wants to buy this place. What's it going for?
So just to give you a little recap, the land is about 550-ish square meters, and the house itself is 90, so just over 1,000 square feet, let's call it. And yeah, you'll have to put down 100 million yen for this. So what's that right now, $800,000 or so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I see places all the time in Japan. I have to say I've never seen anything of this kind of quality and aesthetic. This is one of my favorite houses, period, right? If I was buying, I would totally be buying this place right now.
So Alex, one thing I noticed in Karuizawa is we have roads like this. They kind of look like campsites to me, where I can see in to the neighbors, or there's a low wall, I can see the house over there and kind of spy on people. Why is that?
So this has one of the strictest set of zoning laws in anywhere of Japan. And one of those is that you have to have like a low wall or no wall that is, you know, separating your property from the property next door. So that you have a lack of privacy, sure, but at the same time, it seems more open and more natural.
And that's the key word, natural. In 1972, the town of Karuizawa drafted nature protection guidelines, you know, to protect nature. But realistically, the rules are in place to keep the summer house areas exclusively for the wealthy. If this weren't the case, there wouldn't have been a ban against solar panels that could be seen from the road, or condominiums that were over 2 stories tall. They also wouldn't have required plot sizes of at least 1,000 square meters. Building high on small plots of land takes less natural resources, but it does block sightlines of nature, so we wouldn't want that. By the way, the solar panel regulation was rescinded in 2016, so I guess times are a-changin'. Other fascinating guidelines are that trees should be between 10 and 15 meters tall, but a house must be built below 10 meters. A house must also be at least 3 meters from neighboring houses and 5 meters away from the street. Don't want to be too close to others. The color of the houses should be subdued. And owners must keep as many trees as possible. Actually, that sounds quite naturey. Building a wall around the house is prohibited, and instead, plants should be used. The reasons for these and other guidelines are always so that homes in the summer house areas harmonize with nature. All this being said, I should point out that these are guidelines, and thus not enforceable by law. But if you look around, people are mostly following them. In a previous video I made about the rich neighborhoods of Tokyo, there is a very wealthy area called Dennen-chofu that has very similar sounding guidelines. One last interesting tidbit I came across is that construction workers are to refrain from working from the 25th of July to the 31st of August. The reason? To maintain peace and quiet in the summer house areas. No one wants loud construction to get in the way of their vacation. But they do pay a price, with vacation home owners paying about double the rate for a variety of things, from landscaping to property tax. This is locally known as the Karuizawa price. All I know is that I've never seen a pay toilet in Japan before, until I saw this one. Whoa, okay, come on in. Oh, okay, let's get in all the way. This is a heater when it's cold. But otherwise, I've seen a lot of public toilets that actually have this level of cleanliness. I don't know why this costs 100 yen, but it's not a bad bathroom. I mean, yeah. So looking around, they have nameplates everywhere, which is quite convenient. And I noticed the names of companies on them. What's up with that?
Right, so this is a pretty common thing for the resort areas in Japan, is that companies, or sometimes cities even, will like buy a property and turn it into not really a dormitory, but kind of like a, I don't know, a retreat for their employees or something like that.
In fact, when Ako and I were filming around Karuizawa, we came across areas owned by universities in Tokyo. Ako said that different student groups, called circles, would visit for a few days, stay in the cabins, play some tennis, and in general, socialize.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good, good. So what do we have here?
It's a massive plot. It's about 1 acre, or like 3,500 square meters. And on it, we have not one, but 2 different houses, right? This used to be like a place where they would have work retreats. And during COVID, they kind of decided to turn it into something different. So now you could use this for work retreats or as a kind of like a co-working space, you know? You have your entire company come up here and just chill for the entire time and work together and get some good sunlight and all that kind of stuff too. But yeah, it's an interesting property, you know? This is from the 1990s, but they have renovated parts of it.
This kind of surprises me. It seems very utilitarian and...
It is. I mean, if you think about what it originally was for, you know, a work retreat kind of thing, then it does make sense to have just a very utilitarian kitchen. But it looks like a normal Japanese kitchen, to be honest.
Yeah. This doesn't look like, you know, a rich kitchen to me.
Here, speaking of the utilitarianness, this actually has a urinal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The bath over here, this is one of the biggest like baths that I've seen in Japan. So this is called a unit bath where everything is kind of...
I think that's because the guys are going to go in there, drink some sake, you know?
Yeah. They're going to have their 1-cup sakes and then be maybe 3 or 4 in the tub.
Haraka tsukiai, ne?
Haraka no tsukiai, yes.
Haraka no tsukiai.
You got it.
Dekiru.
Yes. And then once you're done with that, once you're all kind of, you know, lounging in that kind of mood, you just come over here and just chill in the the tatami room. And yeah, you put your futons in right over here, just plop right down and go to sleep. So if you're in Tokyo or if you're in any other city in Japan, you just don't have any greenery around you, right? But if you look out here, you'll see it's just all greenery. Oh, hasn't been open for a while. See, that's greenery. So there's a second floor too. Again, they kind of converted it, let's call it. So this is another meeting room, right? But you come over here and this is, well, the master, right? At the master conference room. The balcony. Get some rays and see your employees playing tennis or soccer. That is the second house that we'll be going to in a second. Yeah, so this is 360 million yen, so just under $3 million right now. It's like 2 point something. They have all these communities up there, these kind of like gated communities here. And a lot of the times they have like management companies, so people can come in and actually take care of your place while you're not here. And this, I believe, is in one of those as well. So yeah, again, they just want it to be basically like a hotel. You know, they come for a month or so out of the year, and then for the rest of the time it's left empty, but it'll still be totally fine.
Yeah, this view is a lot better than the front view, actually. This is the view.
I think this is definitely the view, yeah. Yeah, so again, this is a whole acre of land, and in Karuizawa, unlike in Tokyo, you're really only allowed to build like a tiny fraction on the land itself. So for this place, you're only able to build 20%, like on 20% of the land, and the total floor space can only be 20% of the total land as well. The head honcho's place, let's go see it. Shoe storage, every single one of these is shoe storage.
You can have a real party over here.
You can have a real party over here, absolutely.
This reminds me of kind of like a ryokan or something, you know? Or...
Yeah. Check this out. So you got double height ceilings over here.
Okay.
This looks, I'd say, probably about maybe almost 5 meters or like, what, 18
Let's
feet?
get down on the ground and see.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oop, hello. Wow, that's a view. Beanbag chairs. I love this. They decided to put beanbag chairs into the tatami room. You come in over here and you have your bath. Not only is it big enough to fit 3 people, it's actually meant to fit 3 people because you have the 2 showers over here. 1 person showers, gets in, 2 more people shower, they get in as well. It'll be a tight squeeze, but that's okay.
It's all a good time.
Yeah. And you come up here, this is a relic of a time before ours. This is a foam bench.
Like a roadside stop kind of toilet, complete with a Let's see here, stall for someone else.
This second floor is, again, more for where you actually will be, let's say, staying. Every single room in here is going to be a washitsu, a tatami room like this. The big old balcony over here too. Okay.
What I like about this is actually they have the skylights.
So this is a steel framed building, right? So it's not reinforced concrete as are most buildings in, say, Tokyo.
Can we see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh.
But that's pretty much it for this one. What do you think?
I'm speechless.
You're speechless.
I'm speechless. I just can't wait to put down my 3 million.
Yeah, right.
But if you want to try before buying, there are many places to rent, like these cabins located on the grounds of Prince Hotel West. The area is so large, they even have a minibus to transport guests from their cabins to the main hotel. Or maybe it's to the tennis courts for a leisurely game, or perhaps the play forest for the kids. And in the winter, it would certainly be the ski hill. But if you manage to escape the massive property, you're most likely to end up at the shopping strip in Karuizawa Old Town, which is also known as Karuizawa Ginza. I think this is the nicest shopping area in town, as it's very pedestrian friendly. Although there are cars that are allowed to drive slowly along. There is the aptly named Church Street, where if you walk through the shopping complex, you'll indeed wind up at one of the old churches, which are popular tourist attractions for visitors. Churches in the area were designed and built around 100 years ago, and use a lot of wood. I found the architecture quite beautiful. I think you can tell a place is bougie when the dogs have strollers. And this wasn't a one-time incident. Dogs being strolled around like babies was a regular occurrence. Curious, I searched online and there are completely valid reasons for dog strollers. From young pups who might need a rest, to hounds with injuries, to dogs who have anxiety around large groups of people, or those that are too old to walk far distances. Another possible answer is that while Karuizawa promotes itself as a dog tourism destination, some shops will only allow these four-legged friends inside if they're in a stroller. The other big shopping area is the Karuizawa Prince Shopping Plaza, which is a giant outlet mall that has over 200 shops. Since I generally despise shopping, I didn't visit, sorry, but they feature many international brands, from Versace to Arc'teryx to Armani. Yeah, there's a lot of love for international things in Karuizawa, including the architecture. So we've gone to your home country?
Yeah, we're in America, my friend. Look at this. This is actually built with 2x4s, which is pretty rare in Japan. They usually use different methods. So let's go in and see what it looks like inside. Here's the entrance. So this is the least American part of this place, I'd say. You could put a bigger table in here if you really wanted to, but this is a 6-seater. And then you have your little living area over here as well. Of course, the furniture does come with it, but if you don't want the furniture, they can not sell it to you as well. I don't know. What's your thoughts on the furniture? Yeah, I hear you. So do you see that thing over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is a fireplace mantle, and it is just the mantle, and there is no fireplace. But I think that chimney outside is not just ornamental. That would be ridiculous if it is. So you could probably just drill right through this and cut right through this and make it into a fireplace.
But yeah, so we put the drone up in the air, and I'm no chimney expert, but there doesn't appear to be any way for smoke to escape. Is this some temporary cover, or is this all for appearances? This had to be one of the weirdest houses to me. If you've lived in the US or Canada, these elements are utterly familiar. The spring doorstop, the faux muntins dividing the windows, the Venetian blinds, the distressed chandelier, the beauty rest beds. These are rare to see in Japan, which probably means they were imported, which means it costs more to do the house up this way than to do it in the Japanese style. And this is not the only house to do this. Looking at some real estate listings, you can get homes that are even more American. If that's not a good old American garage, I don't know what is. Some homes even have American flags draped across them. Although if I had to bet, I don't think there are any Americans living inside.
Right. There's a lot of doors up here, as you shall see. So I think that the current owner kind of built this with like Airbnb-ing in mind. So that's why you'll see there's a lot of beds in here. That's a very American thing to have as well, the Simmons mattress.
In Canada, I had the exact same door at home. I hated them because they'd always like pop out.
This is your second floor living roomette?
I think so. Let's check out the view.
Yeah, let's see how the view
Let's
is.
sit down and see. What do we check? Oh.
Oh,
Wow. Oh, what do we got there? What do we got there?
Oh, you got your second toilet right over there. This is the better view. Again, you can see.
Yeah, like, I mean, it looks better from this side.
It does, and you have the faux chin. I think it's real, though.
I noticed, actually, we tried to get into a few places. It looked really green on the map, but they had these signs saying pretty much don't go in, don't enter. What's up with that?
So it's kind of like the same concept as a gated community back in the US and Canada. Just, very, very high-end area that you have, private access to and other people can't come into.
Except just a sign, no security guards and the gates open.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is Japan after all. So it's not a hard no, but it's a request for you not to go in, and people usually...
A nice request.
Yeah, and people usually abide by that, so it's all good.
We did. Right, so today we got to see price ranges from about, I think, 600,000 US dollars up to maybe close to 3 million US dollars, but I don't think we got to see like the crazy expensive ones. I don't even know how high it gets up into.
Yeah, well, so this place right behind us, I mean, that looks like a museum. I'm sure that's probably close to maybe 20 or 30 mil at least, and then there's also a house that is owned potentially by a very famous American.
Does he develop software or something?
Yeah, he has. He's been in the game for a very long time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
we went to his gate, in fact, right?
We did go to this person's gate. Actually, he has 2 gates. Yeah, and we went to both of them.
The Gates house.
The Gates house, yes. And that place is rumored to cost around $100 million at least, including the building of it.
It definitely looked like it. When I was up with the drone going over top, we were like the max height, 150 meters, and we just could fit in everything.
Yeah, it's too big for the drone, honestly. That's what it is. And if you were to look at any of the other houses that we saw at 150 meters, it would look just like a little tiny ant. But yeah, it was like this. It's insanity.
A journalist did the research, and they found that a dummy corporation called PM Resort owns the property. While no one will officially reveal who's hiding behind it, all arrows point to Bill Gates. I also found a research paper that had this to say. Vacation house owners were enraged at the allegedly Bill Gates' house because it was apparently against the Karuizawa Nature Protection Guidelines. However, local residents were quiet about the building of the house because the building project earned the local residents a huge amount of jobs. Why would vacation house owners be enraged? Well, there were a couple things. On the nearly 20,000 square meter lot, trees were completely cut down over a vast area, even though the guidelines state that owners must keep as many trees as possible. There's also a guideline to keep buildings below 10 meters in order to maintain the landscape in harmony with trees, which the one-story building does. However, the then drafter of the guidelines could not foresee someone who would build a house with multiple stories underground. So the vacation house owners believe the mega house is going against the spirit of the guidelines. The house is speculated to have cost around 8 billion yen to build. Since it was built between 2012 and 2016, that was roughly worth 80 million US dollars. But who knows, when the apocalypse rolls around, I think those vacation house owners may have a change of heart about the massive underground lair. In any case, since the guidelines are not law, the building stands. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like the one I made on the rich neighborhoods of Tokyo, which you can watch on the Nebula streaming service, ad and sponsor free. All the videos I make are released on Nebula first, before I put them out on YouTube. While I occasionally talk about urban design and zoning rules in my videos, if you really like nerding out on those kinds of details, then I'm sure you'd like fellow Nebula creator City Nerd, who has a video about cities where the rich get richer. There's RM Transit, who has videos about public transportation systems like Tokyo's. And Not Just Bikes, who would have probably titled this video, How the Rich Ruin the Nature They're quote-unquote preserving. He's salty, but his videos about urbanism are kind of sweet. All these creators co-own the Nebula streaming service with me. It's a platform funded by viewers like you, so that us creators can make the videos you want to see, including some that are exclusive to Nebula, like City Beautiful's Great Cities series. If you like what I do and want to support, one of the best ways to do so is by signing up for Nebula, which you can do by going to the link go.nebula.tv/life where I'm from. There are lifetime memberships available until the end of December, where you can access Nebula until you die for only $300. It's great for you because you never have to worry about price increases or monthly fees again, and it's great for us because we get to invest in more amazing original content and features than ever before. But if you're not ready to be ride or die, joining the annual plan is a fantastic deal. You'll get 40% off the price, which is only $30 a year. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace. what are vacation homes like where you're from? And if you want to see a vacation home in Japan, maybe you can talk to
A Tokyo Portfolio. You can go to my channel and see all the different kinds of properties that Japan and, well, mostly Tokyo have to offer.
Thanks for showing us around, and thanks for guess who behind the camera too. All right, we have a very important test today. We found a place where they said their apple pie was the best in the world, but we have an apple pie lab one over here, and they're right next door to each other, so we have to see which one is the best in the world. Let's start off with the underdog, not the best in the world. I bet you the first bite you don't get right in the middle, so I don't think you can judge from the first bite. Now the pastry's nice and buttery, but still, I didn't get any apple in that bite, so I have to bite again. Not bad. I wish there was a bit more apple though. Okay, next one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, bye. They're not wrong. I think this is the best. 一番美味しい. This one has more cream and more apple inside. That's what I was going for. It's like really hot as well. It's pretty good.
美味しい。
どっちの方が美味しい? ね。
やばい。
やばい。
本当だ。
やめて、僕の。
So that you can see into your, neighbors' places, and also, there's a little bit more.
Oh God!
Did you just get?
It's right in my eye.